What can I do you boys for?
I got a hangnail and it hurts real bad.
Yeah, and I bit my tongue. I've got the perfect cure for what ails ya.
How much?
Normally a premium price, but for you boys, I'll accept 2 million caps.
What? We don't have that kind of cap.
How about this tickin'?
Ooh.
Been many a cockle-doodle-doo since I've seen the foulest foul in all of Fallout. You've got a deal.
What's happening to me? My hangnail still hurts.
I can see all of time in an endless continuum, and there's only one scenario where this works out. I must open the portal.
Cue the music.
Girls! Girls! Watch out! Watch out!
Oh my god! It's getting further. Oh my god! It hurts!
If it's small,
Oh, it hurts again! Oh my god!
Hey, that's my leg. Can
and
you
it
give me my
hangs
leg?
Where's my leg over there? Where's my leg?
the biggest lies, where's the loudest house? It's a man.
You guys ready? Lobby up.
Hey guys, lobby up.
GG's, lobby up.
Dude, we gotta lobby up.
Lobby up.
Hey, should we lobby up?
Yo, lobby up.
Lobby up, y'all.
Hey, let's grab a beer. Lobby up.
Welcome back, everybody, to Lobby Up. You got Matt and Lewis in the house as usual.
What's up, guys?
So today is a very special episode, like all our other episodes, but even more special. So today we're going to introduce you guys our new format called Whatcha Watchin'. And it's simple, it's easy. Whatcha Watchin' is a format where we, instead of playing video games and talking about video games, we watch video games and we talk about the TV shows and the movies related to them. And this episode, we're going to talk about the amazing Fallout TV series.
I just love that name. What you watching? It just like,
Rolls off the tongue.
yeah. It's just easy and fun to say. It's just cool. But I'm excited that we're gonna be talking about some things that are video game related that aren't just playing video games, because this is becoming a much more common occurrence, right? That Hollywood's running out of things to make TV about, right? Like books, been there, done that.
Yep.
Now we got to get to video games.
Which, listen, this generation of gamers are so freaking lucky. They're getting Fallout, they're getting the Super Mario movie, they're getting the Sonic movie, and they're actually good.
Right.
We got the crap Resident Evil movies, we got the crap Mario movie,
Right.
and then we got the crap Street Fighter movies and Mortal Kombat movies. Like, this is a renaissance of just video games killing it on the small screen, and I'm about it. So going right in, man, with all that being said, what were your expectations of the Fallout series?
So basically, I went into this with zero expectations. I'm really trying to temper what I expect of these TV shows now, because I feel like that's the way that you get let down. If you are trying to have them reinvent the wheel, but also stay true to the source material, it's a really difficult thing to balance. So I was basically just like, as long as it's kind of looking like Fallout and it's interesting, I'm going to be happy. And we'll get into it, but it blew me out of the water.
Yeah, for sure. You're better than me, because my expectations were actually pretty low.
Yeah?
This, in retrospect, now, hindsight's 2020, I was like, really? Prime is going to do it? Like, oh, I wish Netflix would have done it. And I was a little worried going in. I would have even taken like an HBO Max to do it. So when I saw Prime was going to do it, I'm like, oh man, like it's going to look crappy. It's going to look low budget. Again, retrospect is 2020, because they did amazing with The Boys. They did amazing with Invincible.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like you took my thought process right out of my head. Like I sat there and I was like, Prime, they have a lot of budget and maybe they've done some things good. And then I was like, oh wait, The Boys, Invincible. Like they know what they're doing. They should have the studios to be able to make this happen. And boy, did they knock it out of the park.
And here's another thing that was kind of hindering my expectations. I have a little fun fact for you.
Do tell.
Did you know that there was originally a plan for a Fallout movie in the early 2000s?
I did not know that.
Yes, dude. So after the success of Fallout 2, they were pitching a like straight to the movies, big budget Fallout movie. And when the original developers, Interplay, closed down, the hopes of that movie also closed down with them, and Bethesda bought out the rights to Fallout. Since then, and I want to say in 2011, the script, not even the script, it's the before the script, kind of like the layout of what they want the script to be, was leaked. It was 15 pages. And as a Fallout fan, I read the whole thing and I'm like, wow, dude, this is hot garbage. I hope this never releases. I hope they kill this and I hope it never goes away. It was a loose adaptation of Fallout 1 and they like butchered it.
Oh,
I thought it was,
dang.
yeah, dude. So knowing that, having that in my brain, my hopes for this series were just like low. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Some things are better left, and this is me being like a little nerdy elitist. Some things are better left as video games and not movies. And boy, was I so wrong. It's not even funny. And I'm just happy that I was wrong.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like I did watch The Last of Us on HBO Max or whatever it's called now, Max, and I really appreciated that story. I thought that they stayed true to the source material. The actors were great, but you could just tell that HBO went big budget in order to make it work. Whereas I don't really think that I got so much of that vibe in like the Fallout adaptation. Like clearly they spent a lot of money on it because they did a great job and they
Yes.
made things look like Fallout, which we'll get into soon. But I just appreciated that it felt like they just stayed true to the source material and just had fun with it. You can just tell.
Yes, and so that really leads me right into wanting to talk about the setting of the show. But before I can do that, I gotta give a big old fat spoiler alert. We're going to be talking heavy spoilers. There is nothing we're not going to talk about. This is our
Right.
in-depth review, our in-depth thoughts, feelings of this show. So like, I ain't trying to hold back. So if you haven't watched this, this is your final warning. Go out and watch it. You are in for a good time, whether you're a longtime Fallout fan or you are new to the series with the show. Go out and watch that.
Or just want a good show to watch. If you don't know anything about Fallout, go watch it. It's still good.
Absolutely. So, going in, one of my favorite parts of this whole show was the setting and the props and how they brought this game to life. I was impressed to the nines. You should have seen me on the couch with Johnny Lay pointing. I'm like, dude, that looks like they pulled it out of the game and put it in a show.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like coming in to the show where you didn't really know what was going on, and you've got Cooper Howard doing his thing at that birthday party, but they're playing like Diamond City Radio-esque music. I'm like, okay, when are we gonna get to the terrible awful? Like when's all the crap gonna go down? And then like the bombs start dropping, and you're like, oh yeah. So, but then after that, when they transition right into the vaults, I was like, oh my gosh, like they're pulling all the stops here. They are going to make sure that we see every single corner of Fallout, and I was so pumped like from the get-go.
Yes, dude. And it's really impressive the absolute minute details they put in creating this world for us. Because the Wasteland is easy. We've seen it in Mad Max, we've seen it in Dune, we've seen it in all these movies, we've seen the setting, but we've never seen anything like the vault.
Right.
We've never seen anything like Fallout. And the showrunners really drove it home on those props. Did you know that Todd Howard visited the set of Fallout? He went to
Really?
the vault. Yeah.
That's cool.
He went to the vault and he sat in the overseer's chair. And he's like, yeah, he's like, wow, like this is amazing. You guys did a great job. And he was admiring the props and he noticed that on his desk of the overseer, there was a stack of paperwork. So just being curious, he opened up one of the binders just to kind of see like what was in it. He was expecting it to be a blank sheet, but the papers were filled with like water usage, food usage, data of
Oh my gosh.
vault. And Todd's like, no one's ever gonna see this. And they're like, yeah, put that down.
Don't worry about it. That's just our monthly quota that we're trying to hit. That's awesome, dude. And just like those little details, that's how you show that you're doing what you love. Like
yes.
when you go that far, you don't do that type of stuff if you're not invested in what you're trying to create, what you're trying to bring to the public. And that's what you want to see. Like people who love this game series, they got a treat with this show.
Oh, and the people who created this show loved this series. Like I've been doing just massive deep dives into the show, getting interviews and just backgrounds on people. And yeah, I'm a stalker. Go watch Baby Reindeer.
Oh God.
Apparently the people of the show, the cameramen, the people working the lights, they were all fans of Fallout. Like if you were on that set, you have played this game, you'll loved it. To be honest, the only person, according to what I've read, that didn't play Fallout was Cooper Howard, the ghoul.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
he really made it clear that he wanted to bring his own flair and taste into this character without having any preconceived notions of what the game is about. And that leads me into one of my favorite characters of the show, the freaking ghoul. Bro.
He's so cool, man. And when you get that connection between the beginning of the show when he's talking to his daughter and he's like, us cowfolk, we take it as it comes, and then he repeats that line at the end, you already kind of have the inclination that he is the ghoul when you're like having that whole scene with the guys that are trying to like, you know, raise him from the grave and stuff. And he says that line again. I'm like, man, what a badass.
Dude, he's so cool. Well, you know, for us, we understand what a ghoul is. A ghoul can survive 200 years because
Right.
of the radiation, but there's a whole group of people who don't know that because they don't
Right.
play Fallout. Johnny Lay is very loosely into Fallout because of me. It took her a little bit to understand that ghoul was Cooper Howard, and it was a really cool like realization aha moment for her where she's like, wait a minute, is that the guy from the beginning? And I was like, yep. How? And I'm like, keep watching. I'm sure they'll answer it.
And that's what's cool about this is you have the whole first episode not really knowing. If you go into this as a non-Fallout fan and you're just trying to take it as it is, you don't really know what to expect when it comes to like sci-fi type of stuff. You
Yeah.
don't really know what to expect as far as monsters or as like creatures like ghouls and where they come from, the lore behind it, all that kind of stuff. So when you first see the ghoul, you're also, I'm just trying to like think of it from the perspective of somebody who doesn't know Fallout. You're just taking in that this is a ghoul. You're like, oh wow, this is no nose, wrinkly face, looks like Deadpool. Oh, it's a ghoul, right? And then all of a sudden, then you have the second layer of processing. This is Cooper Howard, and that's just like an extra level of like mind blow. And that's just the first episode.
Yeah, dude. literally that. In the first episode, we're just bombarded with amazingness, cool characters, cool moments. I mean, dude, the freaking fight in the vault with the Raiders. We got
Yes.
Raiders in
the first episode.
And they didn't disappoint, dude. They did
No.
not disappoint. They were just like, it was like Fallout Infinity War, where everyone's just fighting each other in a giant crazy setting, and I got that in the first episode. And
Dude, as soon as those vault doors opened and we saw Moldaver and we first see Lucy's betrothed, I was like, nah, nope. This is where it goes down. This is fishy. Nope. So I called it in my head. I was like, nah, this is where they turn things around.
That's so funny you say that, because like, again, you play Fallout. My wife, and I will be saying this a lot because it was a very unique perspective to see someone that doesn't play Fallout.
Yeah.
But the whole time she was hitting me like, something's going on, something's happening right now. I don't trust them. I feel like they're gonna do something. Spoilers, they did.
They did.
They killed the men, not just the men, but the women and the children too.
They slaughtered them like animals.
Dude, so continuing along in that first episode, we were introduced to not just the ghoul, but we're introduced to Lucy, and then we're also introduced to Maximus. And what was really cool about the introduction of the three, how I saw it, was the ghoul was their introduction to the wasteland. Lucy gave us the introduction of the Vault Dwellers, and then Maximus gave us the perspective of the Brotherhood of Steel. And we got that all in one episode. It was a masterclass of introducing this world to somebody who has never even heard of Fallout before.
Oh yeah, I mean their goal with that first episode was get us up to speed, set up the plot, and let's take off. And it just did not slow down for the entirety of all the episodes that we got in season 1, all the way till the end. And without getting too far into it, the end had a huge twist that you kind of reserve for like almost like a finale. I mean, it was wild, and I'm like, this is season 1. We haven't even seen a Deathclaw yet.
Oh, we will get there. We will get there because I have thoughts on the finale and the death claws, but we will get there. So I have to ask, man, out of the 3 main characters, who is your favorite character?
Out of the 3,
yeah, I already said, and granted, just because I said it doesn't mean you can either, but for me, I already said it. Like, it was the Ghoul. He was so cool. He was so controlling, and the power trip that I feel when I play Fallout.
I'm gonna not answer your question, and I'm gonna start with my least favorite character, which is Maximus. I feel like obviously he's not likable, and obviously the Ghoul is likable, and Lucy's somewhere in the middle. But I think what's even worse about Maximus is that not only is he not likable, but he kind of just like he constantly keeps like killing his possibility at a redemption. Like every single turn that he can take where he's like, oh, this is a neutral decision. Do you want to, like, I don't know, be a good guy? And it's like he kind of starts doing it and then he lies about it. Or like he just, it's always like a selfish type of intent. And I just kind of, going into season 2, I kind of still don't trust him.
So I think realistically speaking, between Lucy, Maximus, and the Ghoul, I think most players who play Fallout would play more like Maximus
That's fair.
than Lucy or the Ghoul. Because let's be real, like if you go into a town and accidentally kill someone, and then like everybody is like, you have a bounty, most people will revert to their last quick save. And then playing like Lucy is like playing a pacifist run, and nobody wants to do that.
No.
Maximus is the most realistic way that one would play Fallout, down to when he first gets the power armor and he's just like, whoa! And then that is when they played our song.
Yes.
Girls! Girls! Watch out! Watch out! When they played that, I'm like, of course, because again, guys, if you hadn't heard the last episode, that is a very special song for Matt and I,
Yes.
and it's become an inside joke for literally like 8 years now. But that song playing when he gets the power armor and like just messing around with it, trying to figure out how the controllers work, that screamed someone is playing Fallout. Like that screamed like, oh my god, I finally got it. Brilliant.
Doesn't know how to control it, accidentally shooting up crap.
Laughing and then accidentally stepping on someone's leg, accidentally messing things up, I think to me is the spirit of Fallout. Like, oh, I messed up.
And that's a really fair point. From that perspective, I totally agree with you. From a show perspective, though, as a character, I'm like, because as far as like TV concern goes, I don't really know where you're going to go in a positive direction here that makes sense. He did have like his good moment towards the end of season 1, but it took a while for him to get there. And that just shows, you know, growth, which is good. You want to see that.
And we'll have plenty of seasons.
Oh, yeah. But I do feel he has a strong potential to kind of go off that path again.
We shall see. So that's your least favorite character. Continue, sir.
I think that the obvious choice is the Ghoul. So I'm going to give Lucy a little bit of a moment to shine. I love the bright, doe-eyed girl that we get in season 1, episode 1. And by the end of it, just how different she is. Yeah. So in the beginning, I just remember the doctor telling her that, yes, she's trying to save her father, but will the wasteland change you before you get there? Are you still going to have the same desire by the time that you get to your dad and try to save him? And boy, did she not. By the time that she gets there, she's a completely different character. She's still got that okie dokie personality, but it is hardened. It is changed. She's got a whole new perspective on what's right and wrong,
Yep.
on who to look for moral guidance. And I really appreciated that because the ghoul is pretty much just cool from the beginning till the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
And that's great. Like, he's obviously a likable character. But I think it's more entertaining to see somebody go through this significant change.
And it's funny you say that. So like I said earlier, the ghoul to me is the power trip character, the outlaw, the like, I played this game for 600 hours. This is my 4th run through. I'm playing an outlaw.
Right.
Maximus is that first time player getting used to the controllers, messing everything up,
Right.
realizing every one of your choices has immense consequences. And then Lucy, to me, Lucy is what the character of every Fallout series goes through, period. And we're talking from Fallout 1 to now. And that's how you start out as, like you said, the doe-eyed vault dweller, and how you end at the end of every game. You are never the same character you start out with from the beginning to the end of the game, no matter
Right.
what Fallout you're playing. And I thought that was a really nice shout out for the main character of every series who have gone through like this terrible quest to find out that they're not the person they thought they were.
Yeah, that's spot on, because the way I'm kind of viewing it is like Maximus, the gameplay is changing him, but Lucy, the story, is changing her. And
Yes.
that's true to the games, because when you're playing through Fallout, you have so many significant choices that affect the rest of your game and how the game actually even ends for you. So I kind of think that people go into Fallout with like an expectation like, oh, like I'm not going to kill anyone, or oh, I'm not going to, fall for these terrible organizations, and then by the end you're siding with them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I sold a child in Fallout 4. I sold a child for 350 bottle caps. Like,
Was that the one that was hiding in the refrigerator?
yes, I sold him. Thank God my charisma's high, because like he was trying to lowball me. I know what I got.
This is prime children right here.
So, we're talking about the characters, but you know what I really liked about this show more than, granted, what didn't I like about this show, really? Because, spoilers, I fucking love the show. So, I think they really grabbed the essence of what it's like to play a Fallout game, man.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite lines ever uttered in any TV series whatsoever was what the golden rule of the Wasteland is, and that's thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every time. When he said that, dude, I cackled laughing. Because of this show, I've gone back to play Fallout 4 with the intention of beating the game,
And didn't.
and I still haven't beaten the game. I have made 4 more settlements to the same level as my drive-in
Oh my
one.
gosh.
I have found more random places I've never been to after 200 hours. I just keep getting sidetracked by the bullshit. And they honed that
Yeah.
so well. So if you break down the show to its bare bones, the scientist's head and the fusion reactor in his neck that everyone's trying to get, it is 3 people chasing a MacGuffin. Simple.
Right.
But it's when you sprinkle the magic of Fallout on it that you get this magnificent show where you don't care that that's the bare bones. Half the time they were sidetracked in side quests for the majority of the series. They ended up in a different vault. They found the cult of the Shady Sands survivors after they blew up Shady Sands, which we'll get to that.
Right.
And the giant monster in the lake, like that was so unnecessary,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we got that.
Right. The whole axolotl thing, and then we even get further explanation about what that thing even is, where it came from. I mean, it's true Fallout. It's true Fallout fashion with how you're getting explained like these dark tones with just a sprinkle of enough humor, not to where it's like super overly funny and nothing is being taken serious, but just enough humor to where it's keeping you on your toes and just looking for the next crazy moment.
Absolutely. And they even did like 2 major things in Fallout. Number 1 is NPCs, obviously. And Fallout 76 failed for a long minute because they didn't have the NPCs. Such a funny moment to me in that show was when Lucy first came out of the vault and found that dude in that house that just started drinking all her water and is like,
yeah.
hey, do you want to stay? Do you want to get married with me? And like Lucy's like,
Thanks
no.
for not killing me.
That was such an NPC moment, but it went even deeper than that, dude. This guy lives a stone toss away from Philly, this major city hub, and he's like, "Yep, I've never been there before." And then Lucy's like, it's right there." He's like, "Yep, my dad died over there once." And I just thought to myself of all these random NPCs who were like, they're right next to Diamond City, and it's like, "Oh, I've never been there." Or they're right next to Megaton in Fallout 3, and it's like, "Yep, never been there." And it's like, dude, if you walk 5 seconds down the road,
You
it's
can get
right
drinking
there.
water.
So they really like captured those NPCs, and then the random encounters, my man. That scene on the bridge.
Oh my gosh, yes. That whole moment where you have a decision that you can make. And again, this is so Fallout. You can go the pacifist route and just try to charisma your way out of it, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, or you can just go in guns blazing. That's always a choice. And almost like the devil and the angel on your shoulder, right? Like
Yep.
it's almost like Maximus and Lucy weren't even the characters, like you were making the decision and hearing both of them talk. And sure, Lucy's decision ran its course, but then once they see them, they're like, "Oh wait, maybe we should have gone Maximus route on this one," and he winds up being the one getting hurt.
Yeah.
So they really captured a Fallout random encounter with that moment on the bridge.
Dude, if it was me, you would have heard the VAT sound like the moment I saw them.
Oh my gosh. Turns out that they were just like passive people, like
It was just a caravan trying to give supplies to the orphanage down the road. Oh, it's like, "Oh, the one I just raided and killed everyone? Oh, my bad."
that's where I got this cool pipe gun.
We've talked about the essence of the show, the spirit of the show. Fallout is there in all its glory. But now let's break it down a little further. What did you think about the story? Like the overall story?
So, dude, I'll be honest, I was not expecting anything close to this deep. And we've obviously already done a spoiler warning, but getting into what we're aiming toward in the last episode, right? Where you have the ultimate driving force for every single group. Doesn't matter whether they're just the regular NPC hanging out in the shack, the Brotherhood of Steel, the Vault Dwellers, Moldaver. They're all looking for resources. And that's the ultimate driving force for people trying to survive in the wasteland, because that's how you survive.
Yeah.
And you get to this point where you're seeing everybody's different perspective and what's driving them to get that fusion reactor. And everything gets flipped on its head. It's just a wonderfully constructed story, because everything that you're expecting just keeps getting smacked down again and again as you're watching the show. And I love that. That's the kind of TV I love to watch, is just trying to get me to think outside of the typical dogma of what sets up a good ending.
Yes, and the ending was fantastic. It's definitely going to lead us into an even better season 2, in my opinion.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you said earlier, we didn't even get Death Claws in the freaking show, and it was still good. We didn't get super mutants.
We didn't get any mutants. I was going to
Yeah.
say, dude, like there's so many things. We didn't get synths, if that's going to
Yeah.
be a thing. They have so much to play with.
Yep, and to be honest, I'm glad they didn't. At first, I was disappointed about the Death Claws. I was like, "Oh man, like I want to see Death Claws," but they're right. Why shoot the whole mini nuke at this show in the first season
Right.
when they can just keep us on the hook for 10 seasons? Give me 10 seasons of this, and then a reboot.
Dude, I'm gonna be hooked. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna be hooked on this show, like for its entirety, because if it stays at this quality, I mean, I have no idea what they're gonna do next.
Yep.
So we obviously got dropped at the very end, New Vegas, but
Yep.
it looks like a wasteland. It looks
Yeah.
like it's supposed to be confirmed that it's not like a thriving city, but you have the Overseer McLean going in that direction. So it's like, what's he doing there? Is he looking for something to power him up? Is there like a secret thing buried for all these Vault Tech people who have been surviving all these years, where they can go try to like reboot the world again? Like, what's going to happen?
So it's my theory, and it seems to be a lot of people's thoughts. First of all, New Vegas being shut down in a wasteland is disturbing, because it's like, if you played Fallout New Vegas, that whole city is powered by the Hoover Dam. It's a bustling city. It looks like a casino. During the flashbacks to the past and that sit down with Vault-Tec and all these different people, you see Mr. House is present at that meeting with Vault-Tec about nuking the planet.
Yeah.
And Mr. House resides in New Vegas, and it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if the Overseer is going to try to meet up with Mr. House. What's up with him? And it makes you start thinking, what ending for Fallout New Vegas is canon? Because
Right.
as of now, we don't have an answer to that. It is up in the air. This show, I believe, will eventually lead us to a canon ending. As we can tell right now, no matter what ending you chose in Fallout New Vegas is destroyed.
Yeah.
So we definitely we went to the ending there, but because the ending was so profound, especially for Fallout New Vegas lovers.
Yeah.
And you will play this game, and we
I
will
will.
talk about it.
My backlog is just
It's
it's
stacking,
heavy, my
dude.
man.
Well, that's too damn bad.
I'm tired, Grandpa Lewis. But yeah, bro, like when I saw all that though, I saw all the New Vegas fans coming out and being like, whoa, what the heck? So, dude, I really can't wait to see how they explain that one. But basically, getting back to your original question, like, I really do love the story of this show. And I think that they're going to continue doing it justice.
I agree. So Matt, before we continue, man, we've touched up on it a little bit when I brought up Mr. House. I keep wanting to say Dr. House.
Force of habit.
Yeah, being in the room, but I think we kind of need to elaborate on that a little bit. The fact that this show has all but confirmed that Vault-Tec dropped the bombs is a major, wait for it, nuke for the whole fandom, because for years there's been speculations, but this show is canon. This is a canon show. Todd Howard said this is actually a thing that's happening in universe. None of that multiverse bull Marvel. This is happening. So we finally got that confirmation. As somebody who started on Fallout 4, what did you think about that?
One of the best parts about this whole series, whether you're talking about the game or the show, is the decisions that people make are usually not just like fueled by evil, you know, they're not just some type of weird old school villain. It's usually something that's born out of a good intention. Like when it comes to Barb Howard, Cooper's wife, suddenly getting promoted so much in Vault-Tec, and then she's on that board in that meeting, and she's the one that proposes when they're like, how can you guarantee all of our returns on investment in these vaults? She's like, well, we're going to drop the bomb. That was wild.
Yeah.
That was wild. What's even more wild about that is these sci-fi shows, these sci-fi games, they like to play just enough at what could happen in the real world.
Yeah.
How could a corporation get so big to where they have nukes? Not so difficult to conceive anymore nowadays.
That's
And I'm
true.
not trying to get too serious on everybody here, but it's just enough for you to be like, holy crap. So when I saw Barb, the one who's just trying to protect her family, protect her husband and her kid, not the dog apparently,
Yeah,
because
right.
be mad at the dog. But when I just saw her trying to protect her family and her going this far, stretching the mental gymnastics to go this far to make that happen, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah, dude. So it's been long speculated that Vault-Tec dropped the bombs. I always did speculate that Vault-Tec did it, and here's why. In Fallout 3, there is an undetonated nuke that just sits in the middle of the city. If you go and look at the nuke up close, you see the Vault-Tec logo on the nuke. You can barely see it, but it's there. And even back then, before I wouldn't even call myself a fan of Fallout back then, because I'm just like, oh, cool game, ooh, shooting. But like, I was like, wait a minute, that symbol looks like the one that's in the vaults. That's weird. And then in New Vegas, if you go out into the wastelands of New Vegas, you can also find another undetonated bomb. That one also has a Vault-Tec logo on it.
Wow.
So for the longest time, and it was never confirmed, I'm just like, I just assumed Vault-Tec probably did it. But to see that confirmation happening was grade A cinema. And I know it's a TV show, but it was serendipity. I loved it. And I think the whole community has accepted that being the answer. And I haven't seen much fighting regarding that because I think most people also felt that way. So it was a really good revelation.
And I don't remember there being a nuke in Fallout 4, but you got me thinking here. And the guy in the beginning of the game that comes to sell you a spot in a vault, it almost makes me think about how corporations would last second try to like squeeze out as much profit as they can.
Yep.
And the guy like runs off. It's
Yep.
like he knows it's coming.
Yep.
So
Yeah, man. So overall, fantastic story, fantastic show. And in terms of the story, I did want to leave off with one little tidbit that has been noticed across the internet, and it tickled my fancy. Did you notice that Lucy, Maximus, and Cooper all had a wish in the start of this show, and they all got their wish granted in the most twisted way possible?
oh, okay. All right, let me see here. So Lucy obviously wanted to find her dad.
Yes.
Okay. And then by the end, like kind of what we were talking about earlier, by the end, the show had twisted that so much by the time that she reunites with him. She doesn't even know this guy.
She got her wish. She found her dad, this loving dad that's shown her how to be the perfect manager, and to find out that he nuked an entire city. He nuked Shady Sands, which
Right.
is wild because Shady Sands has been around since Fallout 1. And it's been a
Wow.
major hub for the new California Republic. So like coming in to find out that this freaking city was leveled by Lucy's dad was insane. So she got her wish. She found her dad, and he's a egomaniac that blew up a city because his wife didn't want to come home with him.
Yeah.
Wild. Maximus wanted to be a knight so bad, and he wanted to be accepted by the Brotherhood. He was a punching bag from the beginning.
Yeah.
He finally gets the wish. People are chanting, Knight Maximus, Knight
Yes.
Maximus.
And then he's like, screw all that. Me and Lucy got to go hang out in the vault.
Which even more so, the poor man just wants peace, and he wants a
Yeah.
home. Who doesn't want that?
That's
And
crazy.
he gets his wish, and he wants anything but to give it back.
So what's the ghoul's wish then?
So it was a one-off line. Cooper, he had made this comment that he wishes he could be just a real life cowboy.
Oh, so
And
like before the Fallout.
before the Fallout.
Okay.
And he got his wish. He became a cowboy. But
Oh.
it took the world ending. It took him losing his family, losing his skin, and losing his humanity.
Yeah.
This man was fighting to not shoot another man on TV, to literally leveling cities with bodies. Like he
Yeah.
lost himself, and he became the cowboy he wanted to be. And
Dang, dude. That's a really good point.
so,
Wow.
and that's just a testament to the show's storytelling.
Isn't it amazing what happens when you pay your writers?
Yeah, right. Pay them good, because they give us good TV. So I'm gonna start wrapping this up. We could talk about this all day. Seriously, guys, we could literally talk
Literally.
about this for hours, and we probably will off mic. But I want to get your final thoughts on the show. I want to know some of your favorite moments. If there was anything from the source material that you liked. What is your overall packaged, wrapped up nicely for me thoughts on the show?
I just from the get-go loved the characters. It's really hard for me to pinpoint a favorite moment per se, but every single character, even the characters that you don't like them for a reason, and it's just fun. Like, every single bit of it was just so entertaining. And I think that the funniest thing that stands out to me is Lucy's kind of catchphrase of okie dokie.
I love
Like,
that.
because to me that is so Fallout. Like, here's another crazy random thing that you just have to deal with. It's like, okie dokie. Like, I guess that's my reality now, and you just keep moving forward. And I love that so much. I think that she was a perfect character to be like kind of like the quote unquote main protagonist that
Yeah.
drives the plot. And I had so much fun with it, bro. I honestly think that this show is the example that other gaming like adaptations to TV, they should hold themselves to this standard.
Yes. So ultimately, what would you give the show then?
Oh,
in terms of our new lobby up scoring system.
trademark. No one's ever done this before. We're being very out of the box here. Um, I would definitely say no questions asked. 2 thumbs up.
Heck yeah.
As long as it continues on this track, bro. The season 1, no questions asked. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I honestly think this show can only go up from here.
Absolutely.
So for me, to wrap up my thoughts, this show was brilliant. It, like you said, every TV adaptation of video games needs to look at this show and say, this is what we could do. I believe this is probably the best gaming piece of medium I've ever seen,
Agreed.
bar none. And there is a case to be made for The Last of Us. My only rebuttal for The Last of Us not being in the #1 spot would be that Fallout took what made the universe amazing and created their own story with no pulling from any other game. This is a individual story in this universe that's canon to the game, and they stayed in line with the lore.
I couldn't agree more, bro. That's perfectly said.
So that gave it major points for me. And as for like the source material they were pulling from, they did something so special here that I really appreciated, and that's that we got to see real life glimpses of the pre-war Fallout universe.
Yes.
We saw what Vault-Tec was up to, how they operated, how they advertised it. And fight me on this, but Cooper Howard is Vault Boy. Like, that thumbs up.
Oh,
he's Vault Boy.
Oh, he is. They all but confirmed that with the billboard.
Yes. So like, he was the spokesman for Vault-Tec. When he backed out, they're like, well, we like the thumbs up thing. We liked his character. And they created Vault Boy to replace Cooper Howard. He is the inspiration for Vault Boy.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I did not put on this show expecting to get lore dumped. Like, there's so much information that we got, so many repercussions for the greater universe of Fallout. I can't even put into words how crazy that is. No other TV or movie based on video games has ever done that. They're normally adapting the game. This one pushed the story forward in a way I've never seen. This show is brilliant. It's amazing. It gets 2 thumbs way up for me.
Nice.
Congratulations to Prime for giving us this amazing piece of video game achievement. So there you have it, folks. We love the Fallout TV series here at Lobby Up. But I want to leave you guys with a very important thought. To our Fallout veterans, to the people who have been playing since Fallout 1 and who have played the non-canon games and are immersed into this universe even more than we are, I beg of you and I ask of you with a lot of humility, we have a new group of Fallout lovers because of this show. We have a new generation of people who have never played this game, who don't know the lore, whose only exposure is this show. Nurture them, guys. Love them. Don't feel that you have to push them out because they're casuals or they've only ever seen the show. This is our chance to expand this community and turn it into something even better than it was before this show. Never push new fans out, guys. This is our chance. Spread the love. Spread the Fallout. Thanks for lobbying up with us.
See you guys.